Hello, welcome back to another review, and yeah, we're finally doing reviews again. You're wondering why? For 2 weeks I was on vacation, and I came back, and then I was sick, and after that I just wasn't in the mood for making videos. Don't really have an excuse as to why I didn't make them, I just didn't. But anyways, we're back now, and we're looking at one of the more harder to find mainline figures, which is the Rise of the Beasts Beast Weaponizer 2-pack Arcee. So I almost have all the Beast Weaponizers they released. I just need to get the Scorponok now. But yeah, so this is one of the last figures released in the Rise of the Beast mainline, so of course it's going to be a lot harder to find, and especially with how awful distribution is nowadays, especially in Canada, this was really tricky to get my hands on. Thankfully, Toys R Us had like a few of these in stock, so I bought one. And something interesting about the figure is that it's packaged in alt mode. It's on the same like card style thing as all the other Beast Weaponizers, but Arcee here is packaged in her alt mode. My like guess is because she has a lot of kibble, which they couldn't fit in there, but it's kind of a neat throwback to like the original movie toys. But anyways, here she is, and of course she comes with a little Cheetor. So look at the Arcee first. This is actually pretty nice. I feel like her and the Studio Series were designed at very similar times because they seem to be based on the same concept art. Because she does just in general look very similar to the Studio Series, but you will notice no giant wheels on the legs. Instead, you get giant wheels on the back, which is actually more accurate to the film, where she had the wheels on the back. Of course, it was only two and not this third one. But I think that's actually a pretty neat looking aesthetic back there. So it's cool you get more accurate. Of course, you still get the giant kibble back here with the front of the bike, but it doesn't seem as bad as the core class, but I'm one of the people who like that figure as well. So, yeah, take that as you will. The proportions here are vastly improved compared to the core class figure, but she's definitely lacking in deco. She has that kind of ugly Games Workshop plastic, and then it's mostly red after that. You get a bit of white paint, some blue paint, but not. And of course, a bit of pink for the face as well, and that's the only pink you actually get on this figure, sadly. And speaking of, here she is with the core class. So you can see she's not going to be scaling with your Studio Series collection anytime soon, but you can see all the changes here. Oh, all the changes here with the design. You can see these are now moved to the backpack, which I think actually looks nicer. And then this one, the Beast Weaponizer, definitely has better proportions, but the Studio Series figure, I kind of prefer, like, I prefer Legends class figures, so of course I would prefer the Studio Series a bit more in that regard. And I definitely like the deco a lot more in the Studio Series. I think it just looks a bit nicer because you actually get more pink. No Games Workshop plastic. Just overall, definitely looks nicer. Although I feel like if Takara made like a premium finish or like movie the best version of this, we would have the definitive like Rise of the Beasts Arcee figure. But another thing on here, you can tell these are based on the same concept art. You'll notice they're both using the same like the same bike that's almost the one used in the movie, but just slightly different. Their whole designs are based on like the control art, and then like see they have those weird kind of blocky looking like feet and everything. So yeah, they are definitely based on the same concept art and were designed, around the same time, probably before all the movie delays. As for more size comparisons, here she is with another Beast Weaponizer, that being, of course, Optimus Prime, which I was able to get on sale for $15. Sally RC was like their full price of I think $23, which is a bit much for these, but it is still worth it because these are like quite fun. Here she is with Beast Combiner, that being Scourge, who yes, finally like released here. Speaking of things that finally released here, there she is next to the Rise of the Beast mainline deluxe wheeljack. So yeah, we finally got that stupid Toys R Us exclusive 3-pack. It's taken way too long, and then like as soon as we got it here, then the other one started showing up in places except for Canada. So yeah, distribution not good. But you can see here they like most certainly do not scale. If we ever got movie masterpiece Rise of the Beast stuff, I could totally see this Arcee scaling with the rest of them. And here she is with the Toxitron G2 Dead End, because they both have similar color schemes. And Legacy Twincast, just for a general size comparison with the Voyager, because no, the Studio Series Rise of Beast Optimus has not released here yet. I don't know what Hasbro's doing, honestly. Can you tell that I'm still upset about distribution? And we might as well just quickly talk about Cheetor as well. He's like just a decent, like kind of standard little Beast Weaponizer. He's no Optimus Primal. Optimus Primal's still probably the best one I've seen. But he's pretty nice. Little tiny cat, very pointy tail. Articulation, nothing at the head. Ball joint, legs here, little feet, they're also on ball joints. That, okay. And then back legs are also on little ball joints. The transformation is pretty simple. You fold out this peg here, rotate it in, that'll reveal that blade, and then you kind of just like flip these around. They would kind of fit together. The instructions show you have the feet like this, but I like to fold them up, just make it a bit more dynamic. Just do the same thing on the other side. It's kind of satisfying how these legs like fit together like that, but they don't really peg in, sadly. And that's it. You can plug it into your hand like that. Not how you hold the blade. Or what I like to do, plug it into the side of the arm, because that is a bit more, kind of blade-like, I guess. And if you're wondering about Cheetor's size, he's just a standard size for one of the Beast Battle Masters, whatever they're called. So he's like kind of core class size. Just a little size comparison here. So he's pretty small. But it's cool we almost have all the Maximals in the size class. We just need Airazor to release, which honestly, yeah, that's not. And I don't see that figure showing up here. Airazor and that Battle Changer Scourge, I don't think we're ever going to see those guys hit shelves. Besides, like, the few lucky people that found them, I highly doubt those are going to be easy to find. And, of course, Arcee's only accessory is just Cheetor here. As for articulation, this is really, really good. So, she actually has head rotation. Take that, Optimus Primal. I'm pretty sure he's the only Beast Weaponizer who lacks it. Yeah, so she actually has head rotation, which is very nice for a Rise Beast mainline toy. And up and down movement. So you can get that full range of movement. It's on, like, some separate hinges, so it looks a bit weird, but the fact that you actually get that is really, really nice. And then at the shoulders, they're just on ball joints. They set a little tiny bit low down. You don't get the full outwards movement, so they're probably, like, the weakest joint. They get blocked by something as well. Not really sure what. You get kind of, like, elbow rotation, elbow bend, which might actually be a bit more than 90. Then, surprisingly, you get a wrist swivel. It's not actually mentioned in the instructions, because you can rotate it, like, downwards like that for the transformation, but the instructions don't actually tell you to. But it's a thing you can do, and I feel like it was intended by the designers, because why else would they give her a wrist swivel? Then, of course, there's no waist swivel or anything, because mainline toy. Then you get decent head movement. That's the front. Back, it gets blocked by Kibble, and then crazy splits. And then, this part I really like, double-jointed knees. You need the full bend. She kind of, like, stabs herself with how pointy the back of the, like, foot is, but you actually get the double-jointed knees, which is really nice. And then, nothing at the ankles. So, she has really, really good articulation. Also, the plastic just kind of feels nice in hand. So that's it for the robot mode. It's, like, it's pretty decent size, around, like, deluxe size. And you get some really nice articulation. Oh, and Cheetor. Now onto the transformation, because this video is already 8 minutes. So this transformation is basically just the core class, but slightly different, which, again, leads me to believe they were designed at, like, the same time. So you're going to want to untab the arms here, which will also bring the wheels. We'll just leave these sitting up like that for a bit. We'll fling the legs out, fold around the front of the bike. Then we can fold the head in like that. We can finish putting these together, and it's actually a bit less annoying than on the Studio Series. We'll also want to rotate these inwards, because on the Studio Series one, you kind of have to, like, clasp the arms around this, like, peg on the wheels, which I did not enjoy doing, although the arms don't stay together that well anymore. But again, it's a bit less annoying to get the arms together than on Studio Series, because that was definitely my least favorite part of that toy's transformation. You just want to connect the wheels. You have to kind of orient them a certain way I don't really know how to do. There we go. And again, there's kind of optional step where you rotate the hands down like this, because they will be exposed at the back, sadly. The instructions don't mention it, but it's what I like to do, because the engineering's there and makes it look nicer, so why not? And then for the legs here, you're going to want to compress them with that double joint. rotate them like that, and just kind of like swing them underneath. There's a little tiny peg down there. Yep. Swing them underneath, and then this bit, you may want to make sure you kind of hook this underneath that whole section. Kind of locks it all together. And just do the same on the other side. Make sure these don't untab, because I do it all the time. And there you go. So it's a pretty nice transformation. It's basically, again, it's like the core class one, with slightly less annoying to do arms that also tab together slightly worse. But overall, pretty nice. And the bike mode you get at the end is just decent. It's a pretty slim bike, which is nice, because usually Transformers ones are a lot thicker. But it definitely looks less cohesive with these colors, and you get the fake chest showing right there, which I am not the biggest fan of. But cool thing is, these wheels at the back are just kind of clipped in. But this front wheel, it's actually pinned. It gets, like, it scrapes against something. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it scrapes against the legs, which means it doesn't spin the best. You can hear that. But that's so cool that you're getting a pinned wheel on like a mainline toy like this, and it spins better on the back wheel, which doesn't spin at all. Although, actually, you know, if you apply like equal pressure to it, you can get some nice like spinning action with it. There isn't really a kickstand or anything. You kind of just lean it on like one of your feet, and then it kind of works like that. And if you have a 90s Microman figure like this guy, he actually kind of scales with it. I was just now checking to see what figures I had that would scale with the bike. I tried a like 4-inch Batman figure. Didn't work the greatest. He's a bit oversized. I haven't tried a proper 3 3/4 inch yet, because this guy is a bit smaller. But yeah, that okay. If the chest wasn't here, if there's like a proper seat, he'd be able to actually ride the bike pretty well. So if for some reason you want a bike for your Microman figures, then yeah, you can do that with this. And probably 3 3/4 inch as well. So in the end, if you want an Arcee for the robot mode, get this one. If you want one for the bike mode, 100% get the Studio Series. That thing is one of the best bike modes I've seen on Transformer. And if you want something in between, this kind of works as well, because the bike mode is still pretty good. Just a bit, compromised in some areas, but it's still a pretty decent little bike. The Cheetor you guys pretty neat too. I think it's like identical to the retail release, so there's not really any reason. Like, if you want to get Cheetor, to get this over the other one for completionism. But no one really buys these packs for the Beast Weaponizers anyways, besides the ones that are exclusive. So is this better or not than Studio Series? For most people, yeah, but for me, I still really like the Studio Series toy, so I personally can't really choose the favorite. But feel free to tell me yours in the comments. Anyways, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, then no. Bye.